The greatest force in your life is the force of habit. And winning and losing are both habit forming. It's after a while, your brain is always looking for what's important to you. There's a complete misconception about discipline. Discipline sounds tough. Discipline sounds like a lot of effort. Discipline sounds like punishment, doesn't it? You discipline your children, don't do that. Santa doesn't visit crybabies. I won't take you to the mall anymore if you whine like that. Discipline sounds like we're doing it with our children. Discipline your dog. No, bad dog. But discipline is not that at all. In fact, it's a lot more gentle and a lot more important in your education. The word discipline comes from the word disciple. And a disciple is a student of a philosopher, a student of a coach, a student of someone that he or she would like to learn more from and follow. So discipline is a way that you learn your trade. It's the way that you build your career by creating a discipline, the discipline of science, the discipline of accounting, the discipline of being an author. So the discipline is the way you have learned. But here's the problem. I'll ask you a question. Why do we do what we do when we know what we know? We know better not to overeat. We know better not to smoke. We know better not to do certain things, but we do them anyway. Why? Because we don't do what we know. We do what we've learned. And we've learned by osmosis. We've learned by catching. We've learned by watching. We've learned by observation, imitation, repetition. Observation, imitation, repetition. So for the past 50 years, I've been traveling all over the world. 600 cities, 103 countries, over and over again with the same message. And so I asked the audiences, especially a lot of young high school and college kids, let me ask you this, kids. Do the lyrics of the songs you listen to have any impact on you? And they all say, no, not really. We really like the beat. We like the tune. We kind of like the way it does. We like to put our hands up at the concert. We like to do what everybody else does, and we do what they all do. But we think ourselves. We're independent thinkers. Honestly, Dr. Wortley, they call me Dr. Wortley, Dr. Wheatley, Dr. Watley, or Dennis. But they actually tell me that the lyrics, the commercials, the violence in the films, the news media, the over and over again has no impact on them. And I said, wow, they're sure wasting a lot of money then trying to condition us to make a buy decision, aren't they? Through repetition and through using our senses, using our feelings, our emotions. And so I give them a little test. And I've been doing this all over the world. And I'll do it quickly with you. I tell the young people all over the world, actually the joke is on you, because it really is impacting everything you do in your life without you even knowing it. So I asked them, the word joke, would you say it? They're sitting there in the audience. Here we are. They're 19, 20, 21, 22. And they go, okay, joke. I said, spell it. They go, J-O-K-E. I said, say it again. They say joke. I said, spell it. J-O-K-E, J-O-K-E, J-O-K-E. What do you call the white part of an egg? They all say yolk. I go, joke, 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 J-O-K-E, white part of an egg is egg white. Why would you say the white part of an egg is yolk? They say, we don't know. We didn't want to. It was sort of like a knee-jerk reflex. I don't know. You tricked us. I said, no, you're not being tricked. You're being manipulated. You're being internalized. You're being conditioned to do what I tell you to do because I'm repeating it. I give them another one, a very simple one. It's called POTS. It's very innocuous, right? Harmless. POTS, P-O-T-S, P-O-T-S, POTS, P-O-T-S, P-O-T-S. What do you do when you come to a green light? They all say stop. I say, why would you stop when the light is green? Come on, green means go, do it, be it. But I just paused you, which isn't even the word stop. It's stop spelled backward. So someone gave me one. They said, Dennis, say the word roast. I said, roast, R-O-A-S-T, roast, R-O-A-S-T. You won't get me, R-O-A-S-T, R-O-A-S-T. They said, what do you put in the toaster? I said, toast. They said, no, it burns. You put bread in the toaster or Pop-Tarts. But Dennis, you're like everybody else. You can be conditioned by roast, roast, roast. But you don't put toast in the toaster. That's what you get out of the toaster. Oh, Dennis, you're just as gullible as every other person. So here's the point. Every day of our lives, we are being conditioned. We are being told what to buy, what to eat, how to act, what to think, what to sing, what songs are right, what clothes to wear. The hemline is up or down, the shoes are high or low, the heels are high or low, the trousers are tight or loose. Life imitates fashion. Fashion does not imitate life. So the fashion statement that people make is what causes people to buy in it if it's repeated, and people are really good at giving you the images and the repetition and the emotions that go along with it. Observation, imitation, repetition, internalization, realization, materialization. The greatest force in your life is the force of habit. And winning and losing are both habit forming. They're habits. After a while, it's what you do because it's what you're looking for. It's what you're seeing for you. It's what you're on the lookout for every day. Your brain is always looking for what's important to you. So don't let anyone else do that to you. And I remember watching the first X-rated and R-rated and PG-rated. Kids didn't even know the difference, but they wouldn't watch a movie that was G-rated because that was for little babies. So they were looking at the ratings rather than what the film content was, simply because they were told that PG is not that good, but PG-13 or R are the better movies to watch. And when movies started getting more and more on the edge to titillate our visceral stimulation, we need to be stimulated more and more and more, just like the Romans needed to be stimulated more after they became on top. The visceral stimulation became very important. Why do I talk about that so much is because 80% of what you'll be experiencing with what you watch and hear and see on a daily basis is negative. And that's negative because it gets ratings up. It also gets you to watch. It stuns you in your tracks. So you watch it and you internalize it without even knowing you're doing it. It's like inhaling secondhand smoke. So I think, first of all, there are 4 cornerstones that I call the 4 cornerstones of habit. And the first one is you have to own up. It's time in our lives that we take ownership of our unhealthy and our healthy habits and realize that we have the responsibility for living with them, accepting them, or changing them. And we're the only ones that can. The second rule is that habits are rarely, if ever, broken. Once in a while, cold turkey, you can stop smoking or stop doing. Once in a while, there's a traumatic incident in your life that makes you want to change. But on the other hand, there are many smokers who use a tracheotomy in their throat to smoke still, even though the doctor says, if you keep doing this, it'll kill you. They still do it because the habits are so strong. They go from cobwebs into cables to strengthen or shackle our lives for the rest of our lives. So habits are very important. They're comfortable beds. They're easy to get into, but difficult to get out of. So you have the first one, which is owning your habits. The second one, which is realizing they're replaced over time. And here's the truth. I know I've been to the 21-day seminar program, and every motivational speaker says 21 days, 3 weeks, and your life has changed. Come to my boot camp and you'll be changed. Not so. Not so. You've been the way you are a long time. And you've been there a number of years. And so it's going to take a little more effort than you would like to. So you won't be able to go to your smartphone and just do it with that list that comes down on your smartphone. Billy Graham told me that he is an awareness guy. He doesn't change lives. He gives them an ability to come forward and state that they're committed. And then they go back home and then they have to work on it and decide and turn that commitment into an action over time that will be a life-changing experience. So you're stimulated in the present, but you're behaving on what has happened before. So you never make a future decision, you only make a current decision based on the information you already have. That's why I encourage you to get into a program where you take ownership of the unhealthy habit, Cornerstone 1. You realize that habits are replaced, not broken, and it takes a longer time, so give it 6 months to a year. Number 3, develop a dynamic daily routine and realize the reason the subway is the most effective way of traveling is it runs on a track. And because it runs on a track, it knows where it is, it knows where it's going, and it goes on a track and it gets there. So you get a dynamic daily routine, and day by day, you make incremental changes. So it's a daily dynamic thing over a period of 6 months, daily, habitual. And the fourth, an important cornerstone, you get a new environment.